Orion Drew was born October 26, 1981, to his loving parents, Thomas and Peggy Drew. As the story was told by Thomas, on the night Orion was born, while Peggy labored and Thomas gazed at the stars, he saw something that he would deem a true phenomenon, a bright flash of lightning through the constellation of Orion. Thomas's eyes would sparkle with a hue of drama when he told this story, a genetic trait amongst the Drew men, especially when he emphasized the fact that there wasn't a single cloud in the sky. He had witnessed a miracle. While some suspects said the lightning bolt may have been the onset of some trickster magic mushrooms, Thomas knew in that moment his son would be named Orion, though it took some convincing. In fact, the new parents left the hospital without choosing a name at all, a mistake Orion wouldn't learn about until adulthood when filing for a new birth certificate, being told then by the clerk that his legal name was actually Boy Drew, and that it would be a hefty fee to change it. So a couple of decades and one comical and slightly expensive correction later, he was legally and officially Orion. Orion was a healthy and happy baby, loved deeply by his parents. Though he didn't have a strand of hair until the age of 5, he was told by his Aunt Mel that as a toddler, he would collect the hair from hairbrushes and place it on his head while gazing at himself in the mirror. Perhaps this explains the years-long ponytail that he cherished until his mid-30s. The cue ball baby would grow into a charismatic and fearless young boy. He was an avid reader and a lover of animals, nature, and adventures. His mother would say he was a boy genius, soaking up every bit of knowledge he could and capable of conversing with whomever crossed his path, all qualities that never dimmed throughout the entirety of his life. A standout amongst his peers at delivering a good story or two, he loved to regale others with his many tales, each one delivered with a mix of humor and charm that captivated his listeners. Whether sharing anecdotes from his own life or weaving fantastical tales, his stories were a testament to his vibrant imagination and his deep connection with those around him. He became a big brother at age 10 to his sister Anne, whom he loved dearly. He would often refer to her as wild, precocious, and stubborn, characteristics he found endearing most of the time. While Orion would go through his adolescence phasing into a teenage troublemaker, he was never too cool to set up tea parties for his baby sister and whichever friends she had in tow, dressing to the nines as their waiter and serving them as if he were aiming for a praiseworthy 5-star review. Most of the women in Orion's life owe Anne a token of gratitude, as this behavior and his swoon-worthy charcuterie boards took flight and spilled over into how he showed his affection by being of service. This trait would ultimately bloom into a remarkable talent for feeding people. He often delighted in luring his friends and family into his home with home-cooked meals or treating people to a night out. His passion for this wasn't just about nourishment. It was a way for him to show love and care, bringing people together and creating lasting memories around the table. As Orion became an adult, it's widely known that his health began to decline. During this time, he faced some deep pitfalls, some so deep that climbing out seemed like too big a feat to conquer. However, fate had other plans, and he wasn't done shining. Little did he know that the next chapter of his life offered an optimistic plot twist, reigniting the bright light that he carried through his youth and quite literally learning to walk again. During this time, he beamed with joy as he experienced new freedom and a healthy body and mind, leading him back to good friends and a fresh start. This new path would ultimately set him on an upward trajectory to the highlight of his life, becoming a father to his 4 children, Lucky J, Opal James, Luna Pearl, and Sonova Blair. Fatherhood suited him beautifully. Something about Orion's playful spirit resonated with children in his community. You couldn't take him anywhere without a kiddo or two hanging from his arm or challenging him to a wrestling match. Sometimes he'd even let them win. In his prime, he was a proud and enthusiastic dad, constantly showering his children with attention and praise. He was the dad who didn't flinch at changing diapers or cringe at getting his hands dirty. He would pull all-nighters, rocking his babies to sleep. He was the dad who was all in. Unfortunately, the tides were to turn on this chapter far too soon, and Orion would become entangled with his demons for the final fight. A devastating twist for all who loved and continue to love him. This is the hard part, the part that holds no grace, the part that left him torn, the ending of an era that was once so lovely, and a sobering reminder that even the brightest stars can fall. As we remember Orion through all of his shades of life, may we hold on to the joy and love he brought into our world. May we celebrate the vibrant and loving person he was, cherishing the many great memories he leaves behind and the countless ways he touched our lives. His light, though dim too soon, will forever illuminate our hearts.